Welcome to our June 13th meeting of the San Bernardino Community College District Board of Trustees. At this time, we're on to our public comments on agenda and non-agenda items. So pursuant to Board Policy 2350, any person may speak to the Board of Trustees either on an agenda item or on other matters of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board and before any board action is taken. Comments must be limited to 3 minutes per speaker and 20 minutes on the same or substantially similar subject, unless a majority of the board votes to extend the time limit. As a matter of policy, members of the board may not discuss or respond to matters raised during public comment unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion or action in open session. If you have questions about access or if you require accommodation to participate in the public meeting, please contact the Chancellor's office at 909-388-6903 as far in advance of the board meeting as possible. Holy cow.
To ridicule for your judgment. In 2012, your selection failed a background check with community college because I told them my Orange Community College public meeting because that district mishandled and leaked my confidential statement in its entirety. The results from that leak are unconfirmed rumors. Tonight we're going with an abridged NC-17 version. While we were students at UC Berkeley, Gilbert Contreras sex trafficked me to his friends during our freshman and sophomore year. Some of his friends I knew and some I did not. Why did I allow this to happen? It was an abundance of misplaced trust. I trusted him to keep me safe. In the winter of late 1993, while I was on his bed in his apartment on Addison Drive, while in the middle of a sexual encounter with his friend Mario Garcia, who Gilbert insisted that I sleep with, Mario choked me without my consent and without any warning. I could not breathe and I could not catch my breath. I maneuvered my feet to Mario's chest and kicked hard. Mario flew off the bed. Multiple men getting off of the floor, including Gilbert. I had no idea they were there or how they got there. I knew I needed medical attention. I knew I needed to get to Alta Bates Medical. Instead of providing medical attention, Gilbert insisted I needed to complete the encounter with Mario. I told him no, I didn't want to, and was forced to complete the encounter. Gilbert did not see me as a fellow student, just as a sex object to pass around. I should have told my story to the deans at UC Berkeley, but had not changed. I should have had him charged with sex trafficking in the Alameda County Superior Court, but society had not changed before the statute of limitations expired. Because he values his friends' opinions of him more than he values a woman as a human being, because he is a sex trafficker, Gilbert is not fit for any position in any institution of higher learning. Thank you.
Okay. Next up is Danielle.
Good afternoon, Chancellor and members of the board. I am Dr. Danielle Graham, a full-time faculty member at Valley College since 2019. I again appear before you to address a pressing concern regarding the executive leadership salary increases proposed on pages 276 through 279. It is disheartening to see this schedule resurface on the action agenda, particularly with the contract for the Chancellor that includes a steep salary increase from $394,460 to $431,037, a jump of over 9% and $36,000. Other salaries will increase by 10% or even 13% on this new schedule. The suggested justification for these unwarranted rises is to, quote, keep top executives at a competitive salary. Meanwhile, full-time faculty wages remain stagnant and are 10% or more colleges. How can you justify competitive executive salaries when such large inequities exist for other employee groups and our students cannot pay for books? Moreover, these proposed increases conflict with the claims of, quote, no direct financial implications as per the current board item. How can you justify increasing disparities under the pretext of no financial consequences? Our financial prudence is questioned when the tentative budget forecasts potential state budget cuts, yet we are discussing substantial pay. This is not just an administrative issue, but a moral one, where the very integrity of our governance is at stake. These decisions occur against a backdrop of high poverty rates in San Bernardino, rapid inflation in the Inland Empire, and ongoing financial struggles among students and faculty alike. Just this month, faculty at Mount SAC demonstrated for cost of living adjustments, fighting for the 8.22% COLA increase calculated by Governor Newsom's administration. Why are some of our faculty members receiving 0% so others can merely meet their basic needs? This board has a choice to make. Will we be the entity that rubber stamps top-heavy budgets, or will we advocate for a balanced approach that uplifts every member of our educational community? As some of you seek re-election this year, the community's eyes are on the decisions you make. Trust in our leadership is wavering, and it's time to restore confidence through actions that speak louder than words. I also implore you to consider the potential impacts your words have. When you focus or harp on how misinformed they are for not knowing details of things that are not transparent, it comes across as condescending and distracting from the issue at hand. Please be mindful and treat our students with the respect they deserve. We need accountability, transparency, and above all, a commitment to the values we profess to stand for. I ask you, board members, to critically reconsider these salary increases and realign our fiscal strategies with the true needs of our community by placing the well-being of our students and employees before executive compensation. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Carrie Geis.
Good afternoon. My name is Carrie Geis. I'm a school psychologist in Yucaipa Unified. I come here today just to show my support for Amy Liland in her endeavors with the board. In my time with Amy, I have known her to be compassionate, ethical, and understanding of the diverse populations we work with. She's my assistant principal, so I work very closely with her in the daily, and I just wanted to be here to support her. Thank you.
Next up is Carrie Payumo. Did I get it close?
You did.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Carrie Payumo. I'm also a school psychologist, but in my time with Ms. Amy Liland, I was a school psychologist intern at Wildwood, the school that she was a dean of students at, and support her in her also endeavors with the board. As I've known her, she has been an advocate for not only students, but also her staff members as well, and she would be a great addition to your board.
Next up is Rebecca Peterson.
I'm sorry, I'm used to the school board meeting, so I understand Chancellor and Board of Trustees. I'm a principal at the school that they're referring to, Wildwood Elementary. We're out for the summer, you can see. We're just cleaning up from the year. And the reason why we came to speak and advocate for our friend, Miss Amy Liland, is she has this heart to serve all children, all people of all walks of life. And faith and trust that something unfamiliar, such as serving in this capacity, that she, from her elementary leadership and educating experience, this is quite a big step. And so because it's such a big stepping out of the comfort zone, I wanted to reassure you that as you consider her, that when we are talking about advocating for all means all truly does mean all for Amy. And I know we can speak it, but living it is quite different. And so if you gave her a chance to show you how she lives it out and how that looks to serve people in your community and the people that you influence through your decisions, I think you would be happy to see it walked rather than just talked. So thanks for letting us have the mic and advocating for our great friend who we serve alongside beautiful children, complicated children, on a daily basis. Thank you so much.
Thanks you. Next up is Gwen Dowdy Rogers.
Good evening, esteemed trustees and our Chancellor, Dinah Rodriguez, and all of you. We are excited to be here because I'm representing tonight Arrowhead United Way. You may know our Feed the Need, which was the first ever benefit food concert, benefit concert, because the needs in the community is great, from our senior citizens to our children, and we don't want anybody to go unleft and not being able to get food. Well, the good thing about it is I'm always looking for ways to support San Bernardino Valley College because I'm an alumni. And so we partnered with the wonderful food pantry, and I'm bearing some more. Can you tell me who you are?
Good afternoon, Christopher Ortiz.
Also representing Arrowhead United Way. I know he didn't want to speak, so I just, I thought I'd go for it. So what we have here is a check presentation for you all from the fundings that we raised, and we want to donate it back to the food pantry. So, you know, I'm used to these board meetings, but not everybody's protocol. So, and the good thing about it, what my mentor taught me is these big checks are wonderful, but the that here. So I don't know how you want. Okay. Who takes the money?
Poor chair.
I think maybe we should do a photo. Yes, okay, so we'll pause.
I also want to celebrate two wonderful women up here, Dr. Ann Veracel and Gloria Macias Harris. And I brought you some love because you have been mentors and just life valuable individuals that have supported me and this entire community. And you're going to be sorely.
Can we do a photo?
I think we should get a photo with the entire board and the president of the college. We take a photo with the entire board?
Sure.
Please.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I know, the outfits, you've got, you all match, all right. So we are now on to our section 3, which is clarification. Do we have any clarification from staff on any?
No, we don't.
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we go to the next exciting. We've got 2 new student trustees, and we will be administering the oath of office for the student trustees. So we're going to start with our new student trustee from Crafton Hills College, and that is Hadi Nator. Oh, I thought you were in the audience. Do we do one at a time?
All right. Let's do one at a time.
One at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I reading this? I'm doing it? Okay.
So you will consent here. You can give him
Okay.
the oath and
I have to find the words. I know they're here. Oh, they're right here. They're ginormous. Thank you. You're the center stage, so. Okay, so you're gonna raise your right hand. Are we ready? Mike, who do you Mike? Look. Okay. I think maybe you should have.
Okay.
I'll say the words and then you. Okay, so raise your right hand. So I state your name.
I
Solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true
that I will bear true
faith and allegiance
faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And I will well
and I will well
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties about which I am about to enter.
Thank you. Thank you and welcome. All right. Okay, so next up, come on up, Nelva Ruiz Martinez. Oh, I need the papers again. Great. All right. Get up here right now. Okay, raise your right hand. All right, here we go. I state your name.
I, Nelva Ruiz Martinez,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith
And allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
That I will well and faithfully duties upon which I am about
to enter.
Welcome. That was the only photo op, right? Yep. Okay.
we're good.
Got this right. All right. So at this time, we are on to minutes. We have minutes from April 25th, May 9th, and May 23rd, 2024. We have a motion and a second. And at this time, we're going to start with, this is going to be your first official advisory vote. So we're going to pause for our 2 student trustees to cast their vote. And now the rest of the trustees will cast their vote. And we have everybody on. All right. Somehow I feel like I need to direct. I don't know. So motion passes. All right. With that, we're on to more recognitions and celebrations. And these are a couple of bittersweet recognitions that we're moving into now. So we have a presentation that is honoring Trustee Vericel and Trustee Macias Harrison. So we will cue that up and let that play.
Oh, that's very nice.
Is it just, I didn't know if it had music. I know, I feel like there needs to be.
What song would you sing? I did it. True, yeah.
All right, so just a few facts about Trustee Vericel. Been instrumental in shaping the district's policies. So you're concluding your service on the board. You've served since 2015. You've served as chair, vice chair, and clerk of the board, so all of the officer positions. And we want to thank you for everything that you've done. And you can see highlighted here the years of service, the days of service, the number of meetings, and the number of graduates and degrees during your tenure. So quite an accomplishment, and we'll just add to the list that's there that led us through as chair through the COVID years, which, you know, we needed to have strong leadership as we were going through the ambiguity of everything COVID. So thank you. We'll do, I think, a round of applause at this point. Okay. We have things, right? Now or later? Okay, we're gonna do them together. Okay, all right. So next we're moving on to Gloria Macias Harrison. So you'll see on the screen, I think, also a summary of the impact. So you can see president of Crafton Hills College. You can see, like so many of us on the dais here, alum of one or both of our colleges, was elected to the Board of Trustees in 2012. 12 years of service. You can see the days of service, the meetings that you have attended over the years, the numbers of graduates that you've welcomed across the stage over the years, and the number of degrees that have been awarded during your tenure. So in addition to that, you know, 20 years you taught at Valley College, right? And we already talked about president for 12 years, but also 6 years as vice president of instruction. So lots of photos. All right, we're applauding. All right. So we do mementos so that you, at least not soon. So I will read the first one, Dr. Ann Vericel, 2015 to 2024. Thank you for your dedicated service and commitment to education and to the community.
I think they need a picture.
We're going to do another photo. And Trustee Gloria Macias Harrison, 2012 to 2024. Thank you for your dedication, your service, and your commitment to education. All right, so photo?
I think we should.
We're doing photos. Yes. Around the front.
Around the front.
Okay. We have direction. Okay. Is this everybody?
Student trustee?
Everybody. Okay.
Oh, it comes off?
You might have to put that in your check bag. I'm not sure it'll go through TSA. Okay. All right. All right, we are on now to,
Madam Chair,
yes, sir.
I think that I can't imagine that we can let this go by without our colleagues
Yes.
making some recognition of the departure of our two individuals that we've just recognized. And I would like to go ahead and start with noting that I will particularly miss Trustee Viracel's leaving me to be the only remaining member on the board with a twisted sense of humor. Hers doesn't measure up to mine, but she tried. And I always appreciated the attempts. And so I will miss her. She's going to be long distance away from us now up in Washington State, and continue to provide all of the extensive community services that she's been providing for decades to the people in our community, going far beyond just this board, although she has dedicated an extraordinary amount of attention to this position, and we've all benefited from it, and I want to thank you for it. Dr. Viricel, thank you again. And one of my longest standing friends, whom I have known more than half a century, I have known for so long that I have known her back when we were both skinny. Gloria Harrison, my dear
The
colleague.
gavel, hit him with the gavel.
And
I can't take it out of there.
Gloria,
Hit it over. Wait a minute, I lie about my age all the time. You're
Yes.
ruining.
that's quite all right. I am hoping, however, that unlike with Dr. Viricel, I'm hoping that I won't be losing the colleague status with Gloria, because I'm attempting. It turns out that although she can no longer serve on this board because she's moved from the district she represented into a Redlands area, it just so happens that another friend of ours who passed away just this month, just days ago, David Rayleigh, lived in the same district that Gloria now lives in, and I'm hoping very hard we're going to be filling that seat in 15 days. And I'm hoping very much that Gloria will depart this board to become immediately my colleague on another board. So thank you very much, Gloria, and good luck.
Thank you. There goes my vacation.
Right?
No retirement for you.
Would like to provide comment? I don't know how you follow John. I know, you pretty much, all right, okay.
I'll say something. I first met Dr. Viricel at, and I can't remember if it was at she used to host a TV show in San Bernardino, and I took a stats class at the University of Redlands, and she was the faculty member over it. And I agree with John. Your consistency, wittiness, and then the attention that you pay. It's been a pleasure to just serve with you. I'm going to miss, I really appreciated the opportunity that we had to enjoy the music with the symphony, and that what you brought to the city of San Bernardino, it really has the opportunity to elevate, some of the things that we're thinking about in terms of arts and music. And so hopefully you'll be able to continue to do those things in your new capacity. And but it's been a pleasure to serve with you. And then
Watch it.
Francis Grice introduced us. I don't know how many years ago it was, but it's been a time. And Gloria's been a mentor and a coach. And the cool part about the folks on this board, like, we can disagree and really be mad at each other, but like it stays professional for the most part. And we get issues. She calls me up. She say, "Mio, what are you?" And I didn't understand at first because I'm from Jersey. I'm like, what are you saying to me? Like, what are you? But it was in the term of endearment, and so just I really appreciate the conversations. I know we'll continue the conversations, and just looking forward to what you get into next. And I hope you both just keep a watchful eye over the district and check in and and remote in and do whatever it is that you do. You're still. So, don't forget about us.
We won't.
Yeah, definitely not. But I just want to say, for any of you who are donors to the symphony, I'm not leaving the symphony, right? I keep getting calls from donors. I hear you've moved to Washington and you're never coming back. I have a retirement home in Washington, but it is inappropriate for a trustee to not be full-time in their district. And I know legally we can be less than full-time, but ethically it's inappropriate. So that is why I am stepping away from this board. However, I'll hang around forever and haunt your office, come in and tell you what to do. Yeah, but definitely staying out. So if you are currently a donor to the symphony, fear not. We continue to be operating, and we will for another 96 years. Thank you.
I don't know what to say. This has been my whole life, starting as a student. And I can only say that the mentors that I've had, starting in a little Spanish department in the Valley College, and the people who encouraged me and at times poked me to get out of my comfort zone to try different things. And so I have to say that I never planned to be a trustee. But you know what? I looked at the candidates and I said, I'm better than they are. And so I ran for office. And lo and behold, I won. So it has been a wonderful experience. At times it's a little tiring, and sometimes it is complex, but I cannot tell you how much I have learned from all of the experiences that I've gone through, not only in the district, but being on the Board of Trustees. And so it's been a privilege, and I'm not leaving the area, guys. I'm still on the foundation board. I'm still on some other committees, and so I will be around, and I will be bugging Joseph. So if he misbehaves, you call me, and I'll call him, okay?
We might hold you to that. So, thank you. Thank you for your service. And, we talk a lot in leadership about there's a certain level of authority that we have, but we also talk about influence. And one of the things that, regardless of whether you continue having the authority of a trustee, you will absolutely have the influence on this district. And we know that you will be influencing what happens in this district far into the future. So thank you for your service and thank you for your influence moving forward. All right, with that, one more, yes.
Individuals that I really enjoyed working with as colleagues. I didn't know Anne until just recently, and she has been really very dedicated to improving the situation for our students. And she worked at the University of Redlands, and I recommended that she get in touch with other faculty members that are just as dedicated as she is. We're going to miss you. You bring in a lot of experience and knowledge to higher education. Gloria, I've known Gloria for a long time. I'm really sad because, there's 3 people here in the whole district that have been here longer than me. She's now leaving. So
Another reference to age. Come on, guys.
So now I'm the second person that has been here the longest. How many years have you been as a faculty? Close to 50. Yeah.
Close to 50.
I'm not as old as she is, but So I've been here for about 48 years altogether. And it's been a privilege to work with her and her family. Her family is very involved in the community. She had an outstanding newspaper that kept our Hispanic Latino community involved with a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna miss her, but we're still very close. My wife is very close to her as well. So Gloria, I wish you the best, and I know that you didn't have to get involved because you have so many different things. Yet you gave us an opportunity. And I saw you when you were the chair of the humanities, and you moved up, and then you moved up, and then we encouraged you to run for other things. And then you eventually became the president of Crafton Hills College.
Thank you.
And we're very proud. I know that Crafton has really improved a lot. And now that you're there, I think it continues to be. And we're still going to be friends. We're still going to get in touch. I know that you're going to probably be appointed to a state commission of some kind if you want. I know someone who could probably.
These are all making plans for me. When do I get vacation?
So thank you so much, Gloria.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our Netflix roast of our two trustees. With that, we are moving on to our applause cards. So we have on the display the applause cards, so we will applaud and recognize the extra effort that has been memorialized this month. Okay, so officially next up on our agenda is the item around the provisional appointment for trustee area 7, and that's our candidate interviews with. So what we'll do is move ahead in our agenda to our other action items, and then when the time comes, we will move back to our candidate interviews. So with that, we are on to election of board vice chair, because with trustee Virasil moving on, that position will be vacant. So we will look for, open the floor for nominations.
Dr. Gonzalez?
We have a nomination for Dr. Gonzalez. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second? All right. Do we have any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none. Okay, so student trustees, your advisory vote. And then the rest of us use our machine for the vote. So here we go. Then the motion carries, so congratulations, Trustee Gonzalez.
We want to hear a speech, a half an hour speech of why he should be our vice.
Another roast. Okay, so let me make sure that I am where I need to be, which I think our next item would be our board policies for final review.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Any discussion?
Board policy 2510, please.
So there's been a recommendation from the Chancellor to pull board policy 2510. Would the maker of the motion accept this and enter a friendly amendment?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion has been amended and seconded to pull the policy. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. Student advisory vote first. And everyone else vote. So the motion carries. The item that was pulled is actually tabled is what? Great, okay, so, all right. So next up is going to be the College and Career Access Pathways Partnership Agreement with San Bernardino City Unified.
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Motion and a second, any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Student Trustees Advisory vote? Who else can vote? Okay, the motion carries unanimously. I'll get this, the cadence of the electronic voting. It just feels a little awkward. Okay. Next up is going to be our District Technology Master Plan for 2023 through 2028.
So moved.
We have a motion from Trustee Gonzalez and a second from Trustee Harrison. Any discussion? Hearing none. Student Trustees Advisory vote? And everybody else vote. Okay, motion carries unanimously. Next is the 2024 District Support Operations Reorganization. Looking for a motion there. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second from Trustee Harrison. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Student Trustee Advisory vote. And trustees cast your electronic vote. Okay, voting is closed. Motion carries. Next up is Executive Leadership Salary Schedule. Looking for a motion there. We have a motion from Trustee Versil.
I'll second it.
Second from Trustee Harrison. Any discussion? Student advisory vote. And then trustees cast your electronic vote. Okay, voting is closed. The motion has passed unanimously.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just note I want to thank the staff for providing the information that I had requested. Excuse me, I wanted to thank the staff for providing the information which I requested at the prior meeting to compare packages for community college district with what private sector compensation packages are in our area. Thank you very much. That was very helpful information.
Okay, thank you for that. We are on to employment contract for the Chancellor.
So moved.
Just let me read this really quickly and then we'll go. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve an employment contract for the Chancellor dates of 7/1/2024 through 6/30/2028 at the salary range and step of 6D. Now I'll look for a motion.
Second.
We have a motion from Trustee Harrison, second from Trustee Williams. Any discussion? Okay, student trustee, cast your electronic advisory vote. And trustees, cast your electronic vote. Okay, voting is closed. The motion has passed. On to our fiscal year 2024-2025 tentative budget. Looking for a motion there.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Trustee Reyes. Any discussion? I'm glad it's balanced. Okay, trustees, you may cast your advisory vote. And then trustees, cast your electronic vote. Okay, voting is closed. The motion has passed unanimously.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
Writing on Trustee Gonzalez's comment immediately prior to the vote, I would also want to thank staff for the extraordinary compilation of grants that we have succeeded in obtaining, which enable us to have a balanced budget, without which we frankly, I don't see any way we would be able to. And I particularly want to thank our staff for continuing to pursue the grants which will enable us to continue to provide books for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to resolution number 2024-06-13-BOT-01 regarding compensation of the San Bernardino Community College District Board of Trustees. So I will look for a motion to adopt the resolution. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. So our trustees can cast your electronic advisory vote. And trustees, go ahead and cast your electronic vote. Let's see, voting is closed, and the motion has passed. Next up is resolution number 2024-06-13-CO01, order of election and the specifications of the election order. The motion would be to adopt the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Just point of information, does this say what seats, does it need to say what seats? I couldn't find it. Is that supposed to be part of this? What are we ordering? What election?
Mr. Torres, do you mind providing clarification?
Yeah, definitely. Heather and I worked on this. We received the template from the county superintendent of schools, so it is a template that they use. It does not have to specify which districts or areas are up for election.
Okay, so how does the public know what we're ordering?
I don't know. You remember? No, Heather. Yeah.
But this is acceptable to the registrar?
It
To the
is.
registrar of voters?
It is, it is.
Okay.
It's a template that we
Doesn't
received.
say what
No,
election is up, though.
Right.
Usually it says what seats are up.
Yeah. What we'll do, we work with the county superintendent of schools and the registrar of voters as well to make sure everything is done properly. But this is the template that we received from them to approve.
Can we amend the existing document to include those numbers? Question.
Yes, Madam Chair, you could do that from the dais.
Okay. So would you like to call for an amendment on that?
Because in reading it, normally they say what election you're calling, and so I don't,
Madam Chair, I would just suggest that we pass this with the understanding, explicit understanding, that if it needs to be tweaked in order to include the district numbers, or if it's can be tweaked to include the district numbers to be more informative to our constituents, that we are authorizing that.
Okay.
If that's acceptable to the maker and the seconder of the motion.
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
So-
Okay. So we have a motion with the caveat that if we need to add the specific areas that are up for reelection, that we will do that at a later date to ensure that the public is informed. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. So our student trustees, you can cast your advice. And trustees, go ahead and cast your electronic vote. Voting is closed, and the motion has passed. Next, we are on to Resolution 2024-6-13-FS01 regarding the expenditure of Prop 30 Education Protection Account Funds. Motion would be to adopt the resolution.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Student trustees, cast your electronic advisory vote. And trustees, go ahead and cast your electronic vote. Voting is closed, and the motion passes unanimously. That concludes our action agenda, which brings us to our consent agenda. The consent agenda is expected to be routine and non-controversial, acted upon by the board at member of the board, staff member, or citizen may request that an item be removed from this section for discussion. Are there any items to pull from the consent agenda?
C7?
C7, the GAN limit? Yes. Okay.
Which one?
C7.
C7, which is the resolution for the GAN limit for fiscal year 24-25. Anything else? Okay, so looking now for a motion agenda. We have a motion and a we need a second? Okay, motion and a second. At this time, our students will cast their advisory vote. And then the rest of the trustees will cast their vote. So then the motion passes unanimously, which is resolution number 2024-06-3 FS02, approving the GAN limit for fiscal year 24-25. Do I have a motion? Motion to approve. Second? And a second. Discussion.
I just wanted an explanation. I can't find it now, but it was a lot to digest in these two big old books, and so can we just get an explanation of what it is and what are we what are we doing? Where is it? Two or part? You know, this
Part
is, This is
two.
our read. This
Part 2,
Part
page
2.
624.
624.
Mm-hmm.
My preference is to never ever do this again.
Us too, trustee.
To do it on an annual basis.
Madam Chair, as they're looking for the passage there, I would note for the applicants to fill a position tonight that you can see what you're looking forward to here as the page numbers on these books. Thank you.
So
Did you
I
have
understand
explanation?
what it says, but I'm like, what is what?
Like, can you
what is
interpret
Yeah,
it?
can you
Sure,
interpret this,
definitely,
please? Yeah.
definitely. So we are limited to a certain amount of revenue that we receive on an annual basis, and this is the calculation to state what is our limit. They call it the GAN limit. This is our limit. I can tell you that we never meet this limit, so we're never in any danger of receiving less money than what we're supposed to.
Oh, okay. So but when it says it restricts the growth of tax funding programs, what does that mean, though?
So what we're supposed, every district in the state of California, we're restricted to the maximum amount of money that we're supposed to get. This protects how much money goes into us and how much money is given from the state to us. And for that, to make sure that no additional funding comes to us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how the state protects itself.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. Our students will now provide their advisory vote. And trustees, now your vote. Okay, this motion passes unanimously. With that, we are on to reports, right? I know, this is looking funny. Okay, reports. So we,
I'm sorry.
Say again?
My question is, we're going to do the interviews after the report?
I think in terms of time, our first interview, go back to page 1 here, is still a few minutes away. Hold on. Say again? At 5:25. So we'll keep moving on until 5:25. Okay. All right. So reports. We start with our board, committee, and activity reports. So we'll turn it over to Trustee Gonzalez for a brief report from the Board Finance Committee.
Thank you very much. Of presentations today on enrollment. For an update there, we're at 102 2% of target with an FTS estimated right now of 13,457. And there are still additional FTES waiting to be counted as we are clearing out the books from the end of the spring semester. So we're very excited that both campuses exceeded their goals even without the summer enrollment. So that is fantastic, which really positions the district well. We also had a review of the PARS Pension Rate Stabilization Trust. So we heard from the senior consultants from the Public Agency Retirement Services, and that's what PARS stands for, and the district's new asset management firm. So our annual pension costs are projected to continue increasing from just over $21 million this year to over $22 million in the 27-28 fiscal year. As of April 30th, our trust has a net gains of, which is pretty great. And there is no change recommended right now to our conservative investment strategy. We also heard a great report on our bond program workforce. So to date, overall, local workers have received about $4.7 million in wages, and that is 10% over our board policy 6610 goal of 50%. $163 million in contracts have been locally awarded, which at 39% is 14% over our board policy goal. And if we want to look just at a couple of specific projects for the Valley College Tech Building, the headcount for local is 470, which is 54%. That's above our goal target, with almost 62,000 hours for local hires, with $2.9 million of that. So it's 58% of the target, which is really fantastic. For the Crafton Hills College Performing Arts Center, we're looking at a 58% headcount, so 145 local workers, with just under 8,400 hours at 56% of the total hours, and a payment of more than $400,000. Thank you very much.
Board Legislative Committee report. Trustee Reyes.
Thank you. We had a exciting information about how we're doing. So received a report from our grant writer and coordinator, Tammy Mathis. She's very busy, and we want her to be busy, because the busier she is, the more opportunities we have. Our committee is involved from the federal to the state, and now I want to bring it to the county. So Crafton Hills College, EDCT, and KVCR have won a total of about $11.2 million in grants. So that's amazing. It goes back to what John Longville was saying, and I totally agree that we can't function without monies to our campuses. And Jose will probably have long hair, not short hair, because he will be so worried about how he's going to be able to support that. But in essence, that's what's so. We believe that getting involved with our elected officials at all levels is going to pay off. And we are. We're one of the leading community colleges. And because of the leadership that we have with Diana and Jose, and Angel, and so forth, it's good. We've gone to Washington, D.C., we've gone to Sacramento, and we learned about more opportunities. I'm glad that we do serious advocacy for the different opportunities that we have. Remember, we're in higher education, but we don't have to stay in higher education when it comes to opportunities. There's the Department of Energy, there's the Department of Commerce, and we're going to seek all those opportunities, and we have been successful. We've gotten grants from the FAA, we've gotten grants from the DOD, and so forth. So I compliment our team. Diana, you're doing a good job in directing that, and we're here to help you in any way that we can. Inez has done an outstanding job in taking over some of the steps that are really, really important. We're exploring opportunities for working with the county regional training center. I do want you to know that when we entered a grant opportunity back maybe about 20 years when you were the president, and we got money for the training facility at Norton. The only community college in this area from the Southwest that got a grant to deal with when airplanes catch fire. And we were very successful. The city was part of it, the county was part of it, and then we were part of it. We had to be the leader because we have the curriculum. I believe that the county, and I'm gonna do it in a very diplomatic way. We've already met with the Board of Supervisors. They have not stepped up to the plate. We're asking for $10 million from the Department of, from the county supervisors, and they've accepted it fairly well. So I'm gonna continue to push in a very positive way. Who does a better training in terms of the firefighters than Crafton Hills College? Who does a better in terms of water treatment than San Bernardino Valley College? We're a gold mine. They have to recognize that. And we will do it in a very effective way, a diplomatic way. We have to push a little bit, we'll push a little bit. From the state, I also want to invite all of you, we're going to have a special event on July the 25th. We're hosting the Assistant Secretary of the Department of Commerce. Her name is Dr. Castillo. I met her at Washington, D.C. I invited her to come because we had gotten a grant to open up our old district office, and they want to come and see what the projects that we've done. We are totally willing to show, but I don't settle for little things. I settle for big things because we have produced. So on the 26th, we will have Congressman Pete Aguilar. We will have Assistant Secretary Castillo. We will have Will Marshall, and then we will have the county. So it'll be good to have that. So I'm very optimistic that we'll continue to do advocacy in terms of getting these monies. And finally, thank you so much for, because she was part of my committee. She was part of the legislative committee, and she always gave some valuable input. So we're going to miss you. Thank you so much. Gloria, you were not part of my committee, but you're a good friend. So I'm also going to miss you. Thank you so much. That's my report.
Thank you. Okay, next up is going to be the Board Policy and Procedures Ad Hoc Committee.
Thank you very much. We had a great meeting last week. We reviewed 8 different board policies, 7 of which were reviewed for, and 1 was to clarify some language, and all of them were here for first read tonight.
Thank you. Next are our regional and state reports. So Trustee Williams, do you have anything from Board of Governors?
Yeah, so the BOG will be losing Deputy Chancellor Daisy Gonzalez. She's going to be taking over as the Executive Director for the Student Aid Commission. She'll actually be working for Angel Rodriguez, but it's an exciting opportunity for her to move on and expand and do work in another part of the state system. The zero-cost textbooks grants are rolling out. They became available April 29th, and they're going to be there will be another round July the 8th. The grants are capped at $200,000 per eligible program and $20,000. Also have some additional impact grants for an additional $200,000. And then this is all about creating zero-cost textbooks, creating degrees where we have OER resources, and then also textbooks that are affordable and at no cost for students. There's a couple of events that you may be interested in. There's the California Veterans Symposium that's going to be happening July the 30th through the 31st. Regency in Newport Beach. Veterans resources is a big priority for the BOC this year and next, as we're looking to elevate the idea of credit for prior learning. There's even been an award that's been created. It's the Credit for Prior Learning Equity Rising Stars Award. And again, this is designed to help folks come in and have credit from their military experience and a range of other different things. And then lastly, save the date for October 18th, which is Undocumented Student Action Week. And throughout the state, we'll be just promoting resources and programs for our undocumented students. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I just want to take this opportunity to thank Joseph Williams for always pushing us in terms of whether it be books or what have you. And he keeps us on track of what we need to do. And we're there to help in any way that we can. And so important. I know the students cannot be successful without the funding of buying books. We've heard a lot. So thank you so much for taking the lead on that.
Okay, next up is the report for the San Bernardino Regional Emergency Training Center Joint Powers Authority, and that would be me. So we did have our meeting this week, and we are continuing to move forward with our strategic priorities that include updating the facility. So the Airport Firefighter Rescue Training Program is what's offered at the San Bernardino Regional Emergency Training Center. And this is very specialized training that is for our incumbent firefighters. That is a requirement to be recertified. So we serve departments across the entire globe because it's a requirement for the airport firefighting certification. So we're continuing to move forward to seek funding to update the facilities to the state of the art. And we will be presenting, me and the mouse in my pocket, will be presenting during our board retreat an update as to where we are and a little bit of a grounding just to get everybody up to speed and on the same page with actually what the facility is, what it does, who it serves, and how it fits into the larger ecosystem of airport firefighter rescue programs across the country.
And they just had a great event, right? Because I saw a picture of
So the San Bernardino Fire District just opened up a new headquarters. So one of our partners in the Joint Powers Authority is our San Bernardino Fire District. So as one of our partner agencies, we celebrate that they opened up a new headquarters. Yes, that just happened the day before yesterday, I think.
Where do those firefighters get the training? Through us, in most cases.
Many of the firefighters in San Bernardino County have come through our programs at Crafton Hills College.
That's why our message is very strong in terms of getting that $10 million. Perhaps you can even come to our meeting when we meet with, we're meeting with Supervisor Dawn, and then we're meeting with Arnett and Cook.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And we will all learn more. I mean, I'll be able to present more when we meet in just a couple of weeks, so that we'll all be on the same page with everything related to that. So with that, we will move on to the Chancellor's report.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
Just wonder, as the member of this board who preceded you on the on that emergency board, I don't think, as I've by and large don't recognize the extraordinarily broad array of services that this district provides. And as examples, we've pointed out being a site that trains nurses around the, all over the country, certainly, and actually many abroad, and also firefighters and so forth. But I think the specific port firefighting, I don't believe there's anywhere else, anywhere on the globe that provides this degree of training in this particular specialty. I think it's pretty extraordinary.
Right, and I'll be able to give you the specificity, but the closest airport firefighter rescue training program to us is in Denver. That's the closest. So I think that they do. It's the same.
Is it?
Yes, it's.
Okay, well, they
it's-
didn't at the
yes.
time that when I was on the board, I know.
Right, right,
It's
right.
probably
right.
grown.
I'm sure it's, yeah.
That's the, not at the rate that we have $48 still. I mean, what they pay here. It's amazing. That's what it's really all about. Because I was instrumental in getting $16 million. And now we're part of that.
Yeah.
And there was only 12 in the United States. And it was specifically for airplanes when they catch fire. Not every firefighter was eligible for that. They had to get special training because when there's a fire in the airplanes, you only have 2 or 3 minutes. If you don't know how to do it, you can't say, hey, where's the door? You're gone. They're dead. So again, it goes back that we really are offering some great training and educational for our community college. I think I'm going to make a recommendation. We nominated the Community College of the Year
Okay.
in Sacramento.
No, but it is very special. It's specialized, absolutely.
May I comment
Yes.
that when we first started, we had all 3 partners. County Fire, City Fire, and the college. And so, and that firefighting facility for aircraft has survived all the political changes. It has survived resources, and it's still a great, it's a great tribute to the people who have consistently worked on keeping it alive. And like, do we still have 12 in the country?
No.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's one of the few
I
left.
promise you'll get all the updates.
Okay.
It's a really solid presentation, videos, all kinds of data, stats. It's all the things. It's wonderful.
Well,
I
just make sure
promise.
that we're doing such a good job. Seriously, we can ask for more money. Forget about the 10 We have so many things. And if you want, I'll be part of that discussion. And I can bring in some statistics that show what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have all those stats. So I'm just going to leave you wanting more. Okay. And so with that, we're going to now move on to the Chancellor's report. And I think we're still good on time. Yes, okay.
Madam Chair, if I might recommend a few minutes breaks, our candidates are here.
Okay.
So if we want to take a few minutes of break, and then I'm happy to do my presentation after the candidates.
All right,
That's fine.
sounds good. So
Thank
we
you.
will take a break. So, but let's be very much on time because our first candidate is at 5:25. So we're going to come back in like 9 minutes. Yes. 5:23. So we are on to our agenda item, which is the provisional appointment for trustee area 7 candidate interviews. Pursuant to Education Code 5091, on April 25th, 2020, trustees voted and accepted the resignation of trustee Dr. Ann L. Viracil effective June 30th, 2024, and to fill the vacancy by a provisional appointment. The person appointed shall hold office until the next regularly scheduled election for district board members and shall be afforded all the powers and duties of a board member upon appointment. Pursuant to Education Code 35178, a member of the governing board of a school district who has tendered a resignation with a deferral effective date pursuant to Section 5090 shall, until the effective date of resignation, continue to have the right to exercise all powers of a member of the governing board, except that such member shall not have the right to vote for his or her successor in an action taken by the board to make a provisional appointment pursuant to Section 5091. So with that, we'll ask Dr. Viracil with the audience and the public for the remainder of this portion of the meeting. So sad. It's like the long. It's a long walk there. Okay. So at this time, we are going to bring in our candidate Amy Liland to come to the podium. So each of our candidates will have 10 minutes. We'll be setting a 10-minute timer. We have one question that I will ask you, and after I ask the question, the timer will start, and you will have 10 minutes to answer and use that time. Okay? Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
I am ready.
So here's the question, or here's the prompt for you. Please provide a brief introduction of yourself relevant to the application and reflecting on your application responses to the 11 questions.
Okay.
Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the community college district. Your time starts now.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. Good evening. My name is Amy Liland, and you know, as I looked through these questions again, I did type out all of my answers, but I think that I can give you a brief history of me. And I think that that's going to kind of encompass a lot of these questions for you. So I am a native to the Inland Empire. I have been living in Redlands most of my life. And when I was in high school, I had the unfortunate experience. My dad was an athlete. He trained for triathlons, and my dad was hit by a car. And my dad was left physically and mentally incapacitated, which left me with just my mom and my younger brother. And my mom has been a long-standing nurse at Loma Linda Children's. It was a very difficult position to be in. She had 2 young kids. She had to take on a second job. So then she, in my mind, was left kind of physically absent. So I was left with my younger brother. And at that point, I did not think that college was an option for me. I really didn't. I didn't know how to fill out a college application. I didn't really know what I was going to do with myself. I was a waitress at Claim Jumper here in San Bernardino. When they first opened, I was hostess to waitress. And I thought, you know, this is what I'm going to do with myself. Hills College. And when I was at Crafton Hills College, I had people that really took me under their wing and cared about me and believed in me and encouraged me to do more than I thought I was capable of doing. And I said, you know what, this is really cool. I'm going to be a teacher. So I went to San Diego State. I got my bachelor's. I was able to do that. I transferred to University of Redlands. And I was all about the social justice component. That had my name written all over it. I wanted to be the believer in everybody else because somebody believed in me. So I took my teaching credential. I was young in my 20s, and I headed off to Virginia. And I got my first teaching job right outside of Washington, D.C., and that was sure a different experience. My first day on the campus, you know, you do your interview at the school board, you know, and then I got to see the campus. And we pulled up, and out front of the campus was we shared a campus with a high school, the elementary and the high school, was a statue of Stonewall Jackson. And that was the name of the high school. And I didn't know too much about the Civil War, but I thought that doesn't quite seem right. And then I got to meet the students, and I realized how painful that must be. So I thought, okay, that doesn't sit well with me. And I got my first invitation to go to a fellow teacher's home. And we pulled up in front of her house, and she had her Confederate flag flying out in front of the house. And again, something said, this isn't right. But I know better than to mouth off to people and tell them that that's not right. I know that's not how change is made. So I decided to go back to school for counseling, and I got my degree from George Mason University in clinical and mental health, and with an emphasis on multiculturalism and social justice. So I was a teacher by day, and I was a substance abuse counselor for young males mandated by the court at night in Washington, D.C. We drove around in vans, and we picked up people on the streets, and we Suboxone and helped rehabilitate them. Part of that process was getting them enrolled in junior colleges in Virginia, and that was something that I really fell in love with. And I was able to share my story with a lot of them, and that took time because I didn't look like someone that they could identify with a lot of the time. I didn't have that history of drug abuse, but I could empathize with their situation. So again, I was brought back to a love for what brought me to where I was. So having done that, I wanted to come back home. I made my way back to the Inland Empire, and I got my doctorate from University of Redlands again with emphasis on social justice. I've been working for the Yucaipa-Calimesa School District for the past 8 years. I'm an administrator there now. My passion is working with kids. My passion is building the bridge between community and education, and I continue to want to do more. I'm an advocate for the foster youth in our community. I serve at whatever capacity that I can to help serve the community, if that's or making donations, giving blood. I want to be present, I need to be visible, and I need to be helping. There's a big difference in my mind talking about helping and actually going out and getting your hands dirty and doing the work and making change. But I didn't feel like I was doing enough. And one of my professors at the University of Redlands said, you know, there's a different piece of change now that you're in education. You need to know that policy is the way to change. So knowing that, and knowing how I feel about my community, about the Inland Empire, about me, the way that it's changed me, all of my experiences have changed me. Even, you know, during my experience getting my master's degree, we did a 2-year social experiment with me, and I was challenged to figure out what it is to have white privilege. And at first, man, I didn't think I did, because I said, I didn't grow up with anything. And how wrong and ignorant I was as a young girl in my 20s to realize that that is completely not the case at all. So I do feel that through my experience and put back together by the people in my community that believed in me. So to me, I see this role as a way for me to advocate for those by creating policy, by supporting the Chancellor, by having collaborative conversations with the board members. I believe in teamwork. I believe in community outreach. I believe in this board because I know this board has put people in places that believed in me. And that's where I came from, a young girl working at Claim Jumper just across the street. That I was going to do to standing in front of you with my doctorate. Very nervous, but here and wanting to do this and be a part of that once again. And you know, I mentioned in my interview that I have been to many of the community colleges since. There's been conventions there. I've seen guest speakers there. There is something so welcoming, and I am prone to Crafton Hills because I went there, that you go up and you kind of smell the orange blossoms driving up the road, and it's welcoming and it's loving, and people are there with open arms. So I do support the colleges in that way. And I know that they are really the backbone of the Inland Empire. I think that's how our kids, the elementary school age students that I work with now, I currently teach at the University of Redlands also. I've been there for 7 years as an adjunct faculty member, working with those kids who most of them came from the community colleges too. That is what's getting people to where they need to be, whether it's their 4-year degree or it's their ability to find a job that works for them, give them the skills for a satisfying life that they can have, and keeping them here. I think that that's something that I recognize too that's happening a lot lately is we are producing these really great, wonderful people within the Inland Empire, but how do we keep them here? And so that's something that I'm interested in too, in working with the board and kind of creating that bridge and making home a place where people want to go, not the place where people think of the Inland Empire and it's kind of a, oh, you know, that's where you're from, or that's, you know, kind of, that's, I get that on an airplane a lot when people ask where you're from, and if you mention San Bernardino area, it's not always like, oh, that's so cool, you know, they go, oh, okay. So being a part of that team, and that's what I'm really looking forward to doing.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So again, every candidate has the question, the 10 minutes. So we will proceed from there. So
Thank you so
all
much
right.
for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. So our next candidate is at 5:40, so it's 5:34. So we are just pausing for 6 minutes. I believe the candidate is here. Yes, but every person has the same amount of time prior to. So we will have a 5-minute pause. You can go get some coffee. We can, yes.
Vice Chancellor Torres, is the next candidate ready to proceed?
Oh, well, if the next candidate's ready and we're not.
Oh,
5 minutes.
Five
Yeah, I was
minutes.
going to say 5 more minutes.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Thank
Every
you.
candidate arrived and it's very prescribed. Okay. All right. All right. We'll be back. Okay. It's 5 minutes before we start. So we'll be back in 3.5 minutes. So. All right. 3 minutes, don't we? We're very accustomed to 3-minute timers. So we're just about a minute away from our next candidate, but I wanted to give people time to settle in and get ready. So, okay, it is 5:40, so we will bring in our next candidate, and that is Jun C. Yamamoto. So we'll have her come into the microphone.
Hello.
Hello. So every candidate will have 10 minutes. There's a timer that will start after I read the prompt. So every candidate has the same prompt. So after I read it, then you will have the full 10 minutes to answer and address the prompt. The timers are them.
Oh, okay.
See it? Okay. All right. So 10 minutes after I read the prompt. So here we go. Please provide a brief introduction of yourself relevant to the application and reflecting on your application responses to the 11 questions. Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the community college district. So your timer starts now.
Thank you. So I'm Jun Yamamoto. I retired from Crafton. Also worked at San. I was with the district for 28 years. I am active on the Crafton Hills College Foundation, which keeps me really involved with what's going on in the district. I have currently on other boards. I'm on the board for the Girl Scout Council of San Gorgonio, which covers both San Bernardino and Riverside County, which I've been vice president and currently just a member at large. I am active with the Highland Chamber of Commerce. I've been a vice president, secretary, ambassador. I'm out in the community a lot. Even have my Highland water bottle. I'm currently active with what's called the American Camp Association. It's an accrediting body, which I'm on the accreditation team, where we accredit camps throughout the United States. I've been on when I was working, I was on the National Council for Workforce Education, which is a national community college council. Also love animals, so I was on the Humane Society too. So my various positions with the boards would really help me here on the Community College Foundation Board. I used to looking at budgets. Definitely on all of those, the main idea was keeping active with DEI, the diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racism. Very critical, especially for the community colleges. We want to make sure we're eliminating barriers for all of our students and training participants. Even with the EDC, the programs that they do for non-traditional students, and the college is also doing non-credit programs, having adult ed students there are all sort of getting out of the box from what used to be. So we are meeting the needs of our community. I am active locally in our community. Everyone just knows me as the Crafton person, so they'll ask me all kinds of questions, no matter what. So, and then I'll just refer them back to campus. Let's see here. I'm still active on college in different committees, participating in different events. I would like to get on the board, find out a little bit more with what San Bernardino Valley College is doing, since I'm pretty much more familiar with Crafton Hills College. I really see that with our mission of providing good access to all students, non-traditional, regular students, making sure the barriers are down, being positive and really innovative too, which we have been. Of course, we have to look at the budget, and I know that with the upcoming years, we're going to be a little bit tighter, not having a pandemic money available. So in doing that and making decisions, it's important to be collaborative with unions. This really good to have students on the board too. So we need to work collaboratively with them, be respectful for all opinions, and they are very important, and we're here actually for all of them. It's important for us to work as a board together. Sometimes we'll have different opinions, but it's important to be respectful and collaborative, listen, and whatever decision is made by majority that we stand. It's important that we all be ethical and considerate. We follow all the legal things that are required by us. I'm doing good. Oh, so the strengths that I see for the district, again, I don't want to, the colleges are there, they're doing really good jobs, they're being innovative, they're providing great access. Great student services, because without those student services, we wouldn't be able to keep those students in the college, and especially with counseling and transfer, all of the different areas that we have available for them. I do want to make sure that we always, as a board trustee, when we go out, that we also represent KVCR and the EDC, because they are part of the district and they provide a different part of what we do. EDC meeting that need of business and industry out there on a quicker response time, as the colleges do, but it takes a little bit longer to get through curriculum to get everything done. And then KVCR is, when there was controversy about KVCR, I was on the KVCR panel that looked at it and got information from community members. So I was active in that, in listening to community responses on their opinion of what KVCR is and whether it is a benefit to the community or not. I do want to emphasize that at this point in time, I'm only planning on doing the provisional portion. I already have 2 international trips planned for 2025 that would interfere with board dates. Mean that I would be I would be very active out in the community. I think I'm very approachable. I'm loyal. I'm very organized. As you can see by my application, I had bullet points rather than being real wordy. I would like to, because part of my area is also in the mountains. I did used to live in Crestline, so I know a little bit about the mountains, but that's not in my district. So I would like to go up there and see Lake Arrowhead, Cedar Glen, and Blue Jay, which would be, they feel that they're part of the community college district and that we're serving their needs. The mountain community is a little bit different than down the hill group, so that's really important. The other thing I would like to work on is, it's been much better, but there used to be a thing of the board. So the board are real people, and we do have opinions, and we do have to follow policies. We make the policies, work at procedures are being done. We have to do big fiscal decisions, but we're also people. So I think this board has actually been very good in being out in the community, being at different events, both in the community and coming to the different colleges, because it makes a big difference when you see one of the board of trustees at your event. It's and participating, whether you're running or attending the gala. It's very important to have your appearance there. So I would continue to do that, and actually would look forward to participating in things other than at Crafton Hills College and being a better representative out to the community. Also trying to get to know more of our legislative people in the area through the Highland Chamber of Commerce. I do know a lot of the representatives, but not directly the legislative person, which we really need to collaborate. You can't do anything by yourself. So everything has to be done as a team. So we need to collaborate with business, we have to collaborate with industry, we have to collaborate with the faculty, the staff, our students. We can't be alone just making decisions. We're an important body, but we have to have the opinion and the respect from everybody else. So collaboration to me is a key point. The other thing is fiscal. I think one of the things that I would like to do, should I be fortunate to be selected, is, with the Chancellor's permission, I'd like to understand the budget a little bit better. I know about object codes, but there's a lot of different monies that come in from different areas, and there's time limits and a lot of restrictions on understanding of the budget. Without the money, it's really hard to be creative and to access the needs for students. So I'm 26 seconds extra. Is there, I don't know if you can ask me any questions, or?
You have the full 10 minutes, so, no, one question, so.
Okay.
All
well,
right.
I would certainly look forward to it, and I would probably be one of your best trustees with you, collaborating with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have one more candidate. One more candidate. It's 3. We have one more scheduled at 5:55, but I'm told that we are good to go. So as long as everyone is ready here, we will invite Shireen Octavia Betters to the podium.
Came in just in time. Sounds like good afternoon, everybody.
Hello. So let me just give you the instructions really quickly and we'll get started. So every candidate has 10 minutes. There's a timer set on all of the monitors. So can you see the monitors, the 10 minutes? Okay. So that will be counting you down. You won't have a warning or anything. You'll just, the 10 minutes will be going. We have one prompt for you. You have the entire 10 minutes to address the prompt however you wish. All right, so I'm going to read the prompt, and then after I read, the timer will start.
You got it.
All right, so here we go. So please provide a brief introduction of yourself relevant to the application and reflecting on your application responses to the 11 questions. Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the Community College District. Your time starts now.
Thank you, Dr. Houston, and thank you for allowing me to be in this space. I think that the most important piece and the most important component to be a part of this is going to be because we have the opportunity to set a vision and a direction for who we want our community to not only reflect, but what direction that we want it to go in order for us to be successful. I read an article that was printed, I think, in 2023. And what that article talked about was the fiscal impact of what it means to be a part of this community as a community college, and what does it mean to have that impact be locally and the success of folks who are thriving right here. So we know that in these schools do so not just limited to the fact that they've come from a high school, but there are other opportunities that we see and that we know that we need to address when it comes to just adult learning. I've had the opportunity to serve in many capacities, currently the Chief of Equity and Access for San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools, and in that capacity, I have seen the need that has been so varied across our great county. And as we span to do the work, as we look at the work and get focused on the work, I think as a board, having the importance and the value of what it means to be in these seats and having the ability to support Chancellor Rodriguez as she executes the vision that is set, it's a rare thing. And looking at some of the spaces that we have occupied as board members, and I know some of us are leaving this space, these are long tenures. So you have to be able to be very succinct, I think, in your ability to have conversation. That's part of the vision that this incredible institution has decided to put right up front as the goals. It's part of the mission, and I think that I fit lock and step with what that looks like and what that needs to look like. I think I have the experience and the expertise to come along and support that work for the duration of this term. And I also think that having experience in leading, currently I serve as the AXA for Region 12. I've had the opportunity to not only help lead conversations as a board, but help give direction, to help support people in what their goals are and what their needs are and what those things need to look like. And so for me, when you look at the totality of it, this is an opportunity that there was just absolutely no way that I could pass up to come before you and at least put my name in consideration to serve. I think that when you look at the questions that were given to questions about impact, every single question was about what are you currently doing in your role so you don't come into this space and serve for your own selfish needs. And sometimes I think what happens is when we have to be elected, that we get caught up in what our own vision is and not necessarily a part of what it means to be in unison and be in team and remains amongst these spaces. I had the opportunity to be at graduation most recently for San Bernardino Valley College, and I have to tell you, one of the greatest thrills was seeing all the young people. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to turn around. Okay, I'm sorry, I know, I'm sorry. I know I need to focus my attention over here, but seeing young people who had the opportunity that didn't exist prior, because that dimension of difference was not something that was honored, but that dimension of difference was to have the opportunity to gain not only high school credit, but to be able to complete a 2-year graduation requirement so they can enter, if they choose, to a 4-year institution and start off as juniors in college. I have to tell you, I am a proud product of Chaffee Community College. Back in my day, we did not call these institutions community colleges. We called them junior colleges. But you know what happened? Language caught up. And what was important for language to catch up was we decided that we have to focus on community. We have to focus on what it means to be of service to community. And to be of service of community, we had to remove, I hope, some of the stigma that came with language. So when I had the opportunity to go to Chaffee Community College and graduate from Chaffee Community College and went on to earn my bachelor's degree at Cal State Fullerton, I was still community. I was still someone who had to serve in a capacity and take care of kids and have a full-time job. And there's a struggle that comes with that. And those opportunities have been expanded and they look differently right here in this room. So I want the opportunity to be a part of that, to continue to strengthen our community right here, to help be a part of the narrative that says that when we talk about the work that's being done at Crafton, when we talk about the work that's being done with KVCR, when we talk about the work that's being done at San Bernardino Valley College for each and every, that is not limited and it's not a one-off, that it's about how are we fostering these notions of community and how are we doing it by locking arms with other people who are doing different veins. So I've had the opportunity to serve alongside the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. And in that capacity, I've had the opportunity to not only go in and on their, what they call cultural diversity week, and be able to present and talk about things like bias and what that looks like and how some people may be experiencing policing. But I've also had the opportunity to serve in their commitment to community by being a part of what they call Next Generation. Next Generation is simply a committee where they reach out to young people at this point, because the age group is 18 to 30. And 30 used to be old. And 30 is so young. It's so young now, okay? So have the opportunity to serve alongside young people who need that support, who need that brokering, who need to be able to see law enforcement not in ways that are threatening, not because we think that's the right thing to do, but because they perceive the people who are sworn to protect as protectors. So I value that work that I have the opportunity to do. I value the work at Cal State San Bernardino that I have the opportunity to do with Project Impact. And Project Impact is simply a program that was initiated to really hone in on the missing piece in education when it comes to who our students see. So they have a strong recruitment about men and men of color and how they get to have the opportunity to go back and be of service in our school system. And when we talk about our school system, that school system isn't limited to K through 12. that school way up the highest level of college and higher learning, when you talk about 16, what is year 16? Beyond even community college, what does that look like at a four-year institution? That is what we're talking about when we talk about community. So to have the opportunity to serve in that capacity, to have the opportunity to serve as a board member of Santa Claus Inc., which has had dutiful service in this community well beyond my lifespan. But to be able to go in there, impact the most vulnerable of youth, to be able to have conversations and lead work with adult learners through adult education, to me, this is just such a higher calling. It's such a higher need. And to be able to sit with all of you and be able to execute that is going to be so paramount to what I believe makes San Bernardino the place where people no longer look at opportunities like community college and feel that there is shame that comes along with it. We have created a system where if we have not earned the proper certificates, if we have not earned the proper transfer credits to leave this space, that programs like culinary arts mean nothing. That programs like the Fire Academy, yeah, that'll get you to a certain place, but that really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of life because you do not have a four-year degree. I read this article, and I mentioned this before, and I love this piece because it's so important. What now is that by the year 2031, upwards of 75% of all jobs are going to require some level of advanced degree. This is a space as an entry to that continued conversation of what this needs to look like, how we decide to leverage the resources, the authority from this dais, how we support the leader of the organization in executing that work, how we value each other, how we value the staff that's doing the work. Those are the things that's at stake when you talk about serving from this dais. So for me, not only do I want to do it, I want to do it enthusiastically, and I want to do it for what I believe to be the right reasons, because it's definitely not going to be to make my name great. You guys have had a great person in that building that's erected, that bears her name. She had the opportunity to be the first.
Your turn is complete.
That's it. And I want to thank y'all for allowing me this opportunity. I'm so sorry I had my back to y'all the whole time, but thank y'all, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, the way this works will be like every other action item that we take. We have a motion, we have a second, we have discussion. So before we can discuss, we have a motion. So I'm going to be looking for a motion.
For a motion for a particular candidate or
Correct.
for? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will make a motion.
Huh? Yeah.
So are we ready for a motion? Okay. Appoint Jun Yamamoto.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
You'll second. Okay. At this point, it's open for discussion.
Okay.
Okay. Discussion?
I can say why I would put that name forward. We have three excellent candidates. So in my perspective, this is somebody who has had a variety of roles within our system, knows the system, has been involved with OCED, has been involved with being a member of a team, and also a leader of a team. I think her presentation, her oral presentation, perhaps she was a little nervous, has done, and in community as volunteer. I thought that was someone that I would like to see on this board.
Trustee Williams?
Just point of information on process. So is it like just one ballot, whoever gets nominated first, and then we vote and done, or are we voting on all candidates and it's the highest? How is it gonna work?
No, so there's, Bill, you can explain better than I can.
Right, so the motion on the table is for Ms. Yamamoto, and you'll vote on that. If Ms. Yamamoto is appointed, that's the end of the discussion. If she's not, then we can entertain another motion.
Another vote, right. So, just for clarity, for the motion to carry, it will need to have 4 votes to carry. So
we don't have a ballot per se.
No.
With,
No, I have a comment as well. I'd like to follow up with exactly what Gloria has said. Having been there for a long time, she worked with me. I was in charge of the community service, and she is was very good. I agree that she was a little bit nervous, but overall, her heart is in the right place. She's Miss Crafton Hills College. I think she bleeds Crafton Hills College. But she started at Valley College.
Yeah.
And she actually ran the marathon with me. So, I've known her. Her character is great. Her commitment is very good. The other individuals are also good. It's a tough one, but I figured, I know personally, I know Jun.
Okay. Any other?
I'm impressed by all 3 candidates, absolutely. And each candidate has some similarities and then some very different skills, each of which I think would benefit the district well. I think pause I might have on this brief term of service, and that we have an opportunity to potentially help shape a future board, but we can't if they're not willing to run. So I think that would be the only kind of concern that I might have, because we have that opportunity. Maybe we should decide if that's something we want to exercise.
Bill?
Yes, I share the interest which Trustee Gonzalez expresses for the technicalities of whether or not someone's going to run in the next election, though I come at it from the other direction. My inclination is that a candidate who is, as I understood it, basically has announced she does not intend to run for the full term. That's still that means that either of the other 2, as well as any other potential people, within the next 15 days, and we will still be able to receive the benefit of their service. And I agreed. We're really hit some good candidates here. We've got every one of them I would enjoy serving with, and feel that they would make a very valuable contribution on our behalf. So it's a choice, but I would go along with the motion on the basis that we're getting a twofer. In effect, we're getting a good candidate to fill out the remainder of this term, and we're getting another good candidate to succeed that candidate next.
Maybe. Yeah, really.
Probably.
If
Yes,
they're
Trustee Williams.
willing to share, I'll hear in the student's perspective.
I would just like to say that I do see what Trustee Nathan and as well as Trustee Longville are mentioning. Both all candidates seem to have great. It's just a matter more of like, what are we here? What are we doing more for the students as well? Those are kind of some of the questions that I do have. But along the lines, as Trustville had said, this position is going to be kind of short, so we are going to be getting another individual. So I don't know if Heidi has something else to say on that.
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Well, I haven't spoken. I'll just say a word. Opinions. I think when we're in this education space, it's a really small world. So we have opportunity for those of us who are in the education space to interact with quite a few people. So the paths, my path has intersected, right, with the candidates. And so having that perspective, we are in a really wonderful situation in that all three candidates are absolutely amazing. But Trustee and what's best for the students and what is the student focus. My thought is as I look at who we have and the representation that we have and what makes this board cohesive, and as Trustee Williams earlier in the meeting had addressed, that we have the ability to agree to disagree without being disagreeable, and that really does help us. And part of that comes from that we're centered with what we know to be the most important thing, and that is the students that we serve. And I also believe it's because we have a mutual respect for the diversity of experience, the distributed expertise that we all bring individually. And with that, the diversity of experience, the distributed expertise that might be outside of our community college district is a little bit more appealing to me than the insider piece, in that we have staff that are insiders. We have a chancellor that is homegrown. So we have that institutional knowledge through the team, the executive team, through our chancellor, through several members of our current board. So if we're like several members of, if we're even considering that we're going to have vacancies, Trustee Longville has taught it. Trustee, you were a student trustee, worked at the college district. Even with the exits, we've got quite a bit of experience in the college district already. So my pause would be more related to an opportunity to cast the net for diversity of experience, distributed expertise that might be outside of the space, because we're pretty well grounded with the insider history and knowledge. So that would be my response. Trustee Williams.
Listening to the candidates, I liked, is it Liland Strand? I like the lived experience that she shared, and I think that that's relatable to our students. But then Dr. Betters is inspirational and, also has a lived experience, and I think could really inspire students. And then, both of them seem to be, in that space where, we're in a place where we're talking about, or where we should be talking about, how do we bring students back to campus and get involved in our system, and, having figures like that will speak to where the future of education is going, one being a high school administrator and the other being an administrator in county schools. I think I would have just liked to have had an opportunity to cast a vote along all of the members versus it just seems kind of like, oh, that's it? It's kind of strange, but so I would just add that I think both of their lived experiences are closest to where, our students are and the type of things that they really would be needing us, even if it is for the next couple of months, bringing to the table and towards. And so that's just my thought.
Well, I just want to make sure that we don't, I agree with what you're saying, Stephanie, but I also think that we're strong enough to understand that even if we select someone who's been in there, as long as they've done a good job, then we should move forward in terms of that. I don't know the other people. The other bottom line is I don't know involved with a lot of people that are great communicators, but not doers. And I from my experiences, we have someone who is a doer. The only thing that I would say that, as Nathan said, she shouldn't have said that she's going to, because I think we would have selected her right away. But see what happens in regards to. She may change her mind. I don't know, because she'll probably enjoy it, but she brings a wealth and experience working with the students, working with the community, working with the business community, because she's involved with the chambers of commerce and all that. An area that we really don't know as well, and did a good job. But we're not going to have the end, so we need to depend on someone like that. So I would not exclude her from the fact that we need to go somewhere that we can do other way of thinking for that, because I think we're strong enough to hold back on that.
Trustee Lonville?
Through the chair, Madam Chair, I'd like to ask of our council, is it specifically required in state law? I mean, we've already started off on this particular path, but is it specifically required in state law that the method of choosing a replacement is by individual, one-by-one ballots for individual candidates, and that it cannot be by the board doing for example, ranked choice voting, saying, rank how you want the candidates, and we choose the one who comes out first from that. Or what other else? Is it state law says the only way to do it is by vote on that one and then move on to another one if that one's not successful?
State law does not specifically prescribe a method. However, the board member who is appointed needs to be nominated and voted on by the entire board as an individual action item.
As an individual action?
Correct. Additionally, any documents that the board would be using, like forced ranking sheets and things like that, are public records.
So, through the chair.
Yes.
But we could do it.
We can use that as the process to come to who gets nominated, though. The highest.
Provided that, I mean, there's some caveats, but yes, you could do it, but the method that you're doing right now is the common method that boards use to appoint members.
Can I counter the motion?
What was your question? I'm sorry.
I would like to counter the motion and see if it's acceptable. I would like to offer a counter motion and nominate Dr. Betters.
Well, there's currently a motion on the table.
So we need to vote on the
Right.
current
Well, that's what I
motion.
was asking.
Yeah. No, this motion needs to be voted on. Unless you want to make what's called an intervening motion, then the board would have to vote on whether to entertain an intervening motion. Then they could entertain your motion.
What's your pleasure?
Does the board interested in an intervening motion? Or would we like to move with this one and take a vote? And if there are not 4 votes, and reminder, the student votes are advisory votes, so 4 would need to pass the existing, correct?
Yes.
Motion. And if fewer than 4 vote in favor, then we would go into the next motion.
Correct.
So do I hear a call for the question? Or an intervening motion?
Call for the question.
Call for the question. Okay. So at this time, we have a motion and we have a second. And our student trustees will cast their advisory vote now. And then the rest of the board will cast their vote. You've made the motion for, or the, yeah, I'm sorry, Gloria made the motion for June. Mhm. Yes. So it appears everyone has voted, and the motion fails with a vote of 3, 1 abstention, and 4 noes. So with that, we are open the floor for another motion.
So I'd like to nominate Dr. Betters.
So we have a motion for Dr. Betters,
Second.
and we have a second. Discussion.
Again, I'll just make the case for where we currently are and where we, in terms of who we're trying to attract, which is students. And I think the message and the cachet, the organizational connection, and the hope that the message that a person like Dr. Betters can bring could be helpful in the thinking that in the conversations that we're having here over the next couple of months. I don't know what her intentions are in terms of running in November. But again, you know, just in trying to be student-centered and bring a certain level of inspiration into the space to, we're trending upwards, right, Chancellor, for enrollment, and we want to accelerate that and, you know, have those kind of conversations in this room. And so that's why I'm making this nomination purely on those basis.
Oh, I see the other candidates also attempting to do the same, Joseph. I don't see them being away from that. I think that, again, they're all very committed, and we can select all of them, but we can't say that she would be the savior. I think the other candidates are just as qualified to understand what needs to be done for our district. We have done very well. It's really good. You know, and then that are just as good. Not that she's not, but.
Any other? Yes.
I think story is important, and as I think that was mentioned by someone else as well. But I mean, I found learning about the lived experience of both Dr. Lillestrand and Dr. Betters to be inspiring in different ways. But I think I agree with something that will resonate with students and potential students. And we're doing this for students. We got to get them in because education is what is going to lift up our region. So I would hope that you know, having trustees who can share their lived experiences and inspire others to become students and finish their educational trajectory. I think that's really important. Sorry, that was sort of rambly, but.
Okay. Any other discussion? Trustee Longville?
Well, if you look at the demographics, goes back to what you're saying, Nathan. The demographics clearly indicate that, you know, we have several individuals, and one is Asian American. I mean, I don't think we've ever had an Asian American in this board. Opportunity. She didn't go into detail, but I bet you she has a hard upbringing as well. And the reason why I'm speaking on her behalf is because I know her personally. So I know the history that she's had. And the makeup, the demographics of this community, we need to really look at that. And if we don't reflect what the demographics of that community is, then we're missing the boat. We're missing the boat.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call for the student trustees, your advisory vote. And trustees, your vote. Okay, are we missing somebody? We're missing one. Did I? Yes. Is my name not up there? Oh, Frank.
What's that?
Oh, did you
No.
vote? Cast
Yeah.
your vote.
I voted.
It's not on the screen yet. Does your machine say you voted? Did your machine say you voted? Oh, it's there now. Okay. All right. So with all the votes cast, the motion carries with 4 votes, 2 abstentions, and 2 noes. So with that,
Trustee,
yes?
oh, okay.
Everybody's there, right? Yeah. Okay. I was like, I counted 8. I did that before I did anything else. Okay. All right. So I think that this item is now closed. And Trustee Verso, you can regain your seat back at the dais. Nice out there, right?
I think she wanted to take advantage of the public comment.
Right? Right?
That's right.
So congratulations to Dr. Betters with this provisional appointment to the San Bernardino Community College District. And I know we will all welcome her.
Well, and thanks to all of the candidates for, you know, putting yourself
Thank
out
you.
there is not an easy thing to do.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
Can I add that it was an amazing group of candidates, and I know that there were more, and I know that there were some people that pulled out, and I'm so glad that they weren't here because that would have made it even more difficult. But I think that you guys made an excellent decision, and I'm really happy to. I'm really sad to be leaving, but I'm really happy that it's District 7. Yay! So good job, you guys.
So I'm not a crier, but you're making me cry. Just saying. Oh my gosh. Okay. We, I believe, are at Chancellor's report.
We are.
Okay. So I'm going to toss it to you. So
I have boxes of Kleenex. Well, thank you all so much. I want to start out just expressing my thanks also to all of the candidates who put themselves out there to represent our district. It's heartwarming to know that there are a lot of fantastic people that are wanting to serve. So thank you for doing that. Next, I also want to start by celebrating Pride Month and honoring the contributions of our LGBTQ+ community, including many of our students, our faculty, our staff, and allies. Your authenticity and dedication make our community very strong. So I wanted to honor you by mentioning that. I also want to give a heartfelt thank you to Dr. Linda Fontanella. Right. Her distinguished service as interim president of San Bernardino Valley College. Since joining us in January of 2023, she has overseen the graduation of over 3,300 students who have earned a total of 5,752 degrees, and shortly will on the screen. You know, being an interim president, it is a great picture, isn't it? It is. It is. You know, being an interim president can be challenging, but Linda jumped right in, and it just felt like she had been one of us, one of our team since day one. You know, much longer than the only 526 days that she's been with us. Yeah. Linda, your style, your class, your humor has just been inspiring and a joy to work with. You've made a big impact as the interim president at Valley College. Huge impact. You set the stage for our upcoming 100th anniversary. Under your leadership, we raised well over $100,000 at the gala, a sold-out event. Your campus community conversations program was much needed at the time. You honored people, you uplifted them, and you held them accountable. So, you know, it's been a fast and furious 526 days. Your unique leadership style was refreshing and extraordinary. We love you, we honor you, and we will miss you. Thank you for making a difference. Thank you. I also want to take this moment to express my gratitude for our departing trustees, Gloria Macias Harrison and Dr. Ann Vericel. You know, as Chancellor, I owe them a huge thanks for their wisdom and also being generous with their time as sounding boards and helping us make the best decisions possible that we can for our students. On a personal note, I've enjoyed their friendship, getting to know their families, and seeing just the wonderful people that they are behind the title of trustees. They've each brought a unique perspective and a genuine care for others. You know, not only for our district, but for me personally. You know, you have provided so many what we call lollipop moments. So many of them. Is a moment when someone has said something or did something that made your life, your situation, your career, whatever it is, fundamentally better. All right? This video, I think, describes it far better than I can express. So if we can play about 1.5 minutes of this video, please.
How many of you in this room, by show of hands, have what I would call a lollipop moment? That is a moment where someone has come up to you unexpected, like you have mattered, you do matter. How many of you, by show of hands, have one of those moments? Amazing. How many of you just raised your hand, have told the person who created it that they created it for you? It's like a third. See, I don't get that. We live in a world where we celebrate birthdays, where all you have to do is not die for 365 days. You get a party, and you get a cake, you get cards. And yet, we let people walk around who have made our lives better, who have made our careers better, and we don't tell them that. If you get nothing else from me today, please tell the people who are better that they have done so. Because you know what? Leadership recognized is leadership created. And we keep talking about how are we going to create more leadership? How are we going to develop more leadership? Start with this. Recognize the stuff that's around us every day. On your way out, there are lollipops, just like this one. They're delicious because I had 3 last night, okay? My trainer, not happy. Find one. If there is someone in this room who has created a lollipop moment for you, if there is someone in this room for whom you wish to create one of those moments, who's made your life, your career, anything better, get on the phone, text them, tell them that. Leadership recognized is leadership created.
So with that, I would like to thank you both and Linda for lollipop moments. Thank you so much. And so a big one on behalf of all of us from the district, and little ones on behalf of me. So thank you. I won't tell your trainer.
You would salt and sugar. Oh, these are cute.
So again, thank you, all 3 of you. You will be missed. We all love you. We have your cell phone numbers. We will be calling you. So please keep in touch. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
We are on to our represented groups, and first up is Crafton Hills College Academic Senate.
No report.
No report. Crafton Hills College Classified Senate.
No report.
No report.
It's summer.
Must be
It's summer.
summertime. Crafton Hills College Associated Students.
There is no report.
San Bernardino Valley College Academic Senate.
No report.
Feeling like summer. San Bernardino.
No report.
Okay. San Bernardino Valley College Associated Students. Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
please.
Yay.
Yay.
Sorry. I got very sleepy when the candidates came in here. It's been a long day. I was in classes. Good evening, board. Good evening, board members and Chancellor. I'm the new VP, and I'm here to give a quick report on our elections. Our elections went well. We finished on May 17th at 12 p.m. Our candidates have already been elected in by the students. And I would like to also give a congratulations to our new student trustee, Nova Reese Martinez, and Crafton Hills. I also want to give our support and congratulations to Diami Reese Martinez to be going up to the Board of Governors Student Members Appointment. So I would like to give my congratulations to all the people I have mentioned, and thank you so much for your service. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is CSEA. No report. CTA. Police Officers Association.
It's a written report, I think.
Next up is staff report, San Bernardino Valley College President.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that lollipop moment presentation. That was very kind. I am going to miss you all. It's been a pleasure to work here. And this 1.5 years, I always laughed and said it was dog years. It was dog years, but it was such good dog years, and it made me grow. It made me grow a lot as a person. I hope what little I was able to do really does help the college move forward in all of its endeavors. And I want to thank Trustee Williams for that wonderful sweet potato pie. That is marvelous, and I'll have to have a second piece before I leave. Thank you for introducing me to that. I join you in acknowledging our Pride community throughout the district and celebrating Pride Month with them. You know, they say never count your chickens, but I am going to count a chicken here tonight. This afternoon, I contacted Dr. Humble and I said, give us the latest read on our full-time equivalency students. Our goal was 9,428. The number she gave back to me was 9,981. 19 FTEs short of 10,000. So I'm going to count that chicken. We're going to hold on to it because I think 10,000 pretty soon, and that is our indicator for being a middle-sized college again. So thank the staff and faculty for all they've done to help us get there. I really do appreciate that. And another chicken I'm going to count this evening is we were notified by Dr. Humble again that our bachelor's degree in water resource management is on its way to the Board of Governors for approval. We had been in cycle waiting for an analysis to make sure we did not have any duplication in our curriculum like with the UCs. That analysis came back that we did not, and therefore it is being moved forward. So we're very proud of that, and we hope to start teaching that class by the fall of 2025. So thank you very much, Dr. Humble, your staff and faculty. We appreciate that. This wasn't part of my presentation, but I do want to acknowledge that Dr. Shannon Millen is here. And you approved the curriculum for the Flight Academy curriculum and Air Traffic Control curriculum, which is very near and dear to my heart. They tried to make me stay and teach in the class, but I'm not going to. And as a former air traffic controller, I would like to thank you for the work that your board is doing to put those firefighters on the airports. In my 15 years of controlling traffic, I did unfortunately witness fatal accidents on the airport, and having those first responders and that equipment on the airport meant everything about saving lives or not. So I really appreciate hearing about that program. I truly do. And I was also reflecting about reaching board goals, and I think we knocked it out of the park this year in supporting board goal number 1, student access and success. Chancellor Rodriguez already shared those numbers with you, but at this graduation, we had 1,454 certificates, so I would say we reached that goal also. And that is the conclusion of my report. Thank you very much.
I have just a quick question.
Trustee Reyes?
On this one, the Board of Governors, the acceptance of getting the BS, it doesn't have to be voted by the Assembly or the Senate?
No.
So the Board of Governors is the one that is wonderful. Because if you needed some help, let's congratulate you.
Thank you. And Crafton Hills College President.
Good evening, board members. I'd like to start off by congratulating our respiratory program. We were notified that they are receiving a Distinguished Credentialing Success Award for their most recent accreditation. It's only given to a handful of respiratory programs in the state of California. Actually, it's a statewide, a national recognition. And they will be traveling to Utah in July to receive that award. Congratulate our classified senate and our classified professionals at Crafton this week, wrapping up a wonderful classified professionals week. We had an appreciation luncheon to close it out today, and under the leadership of our classified senate president, Karen Peterson, just super impressed with how everyone has come together this year. A fantastic group of professionals, and it was a really wonderful week of activities. Thank you both to trustees Gloria Macias Harrison and Viracel for your time on the board, and for each of you for sharing your nuggets of wisdom with me and poking me at times to give me wise words of how to continue to improve in my job. I really appreciate it. And I would just like to close out by recognizing Colonel David Rayleigh. He served 29 years on the foundation board at Crafton Hills College, who recently passed away this last week. He was a phenomenal foundation board member. It's one thing to be a board member and be good at it. It's another thing to be a person who helps start something new. He was wise counsel during all the years that I had the honor of knowing him, and he will be missed, and I wish nothing but peace for his family as well. Thank you.
I have a comment. Again, our district is very well recognized. You know, you have 2 outstanding programs. I hope, Vice Chancellor Rodriguez, you do something to publicize that. And I'm serious because, you know, I mean, when you have these type of programs, and we have them at the community college, the district should be very, very proud. People should be wanting to pay twice as much to come here. I'm just kidding. Anyway, it's great success. Very proud to be part of this board, and very proud of being the community college at Crafton Hills and Valley College.
Great. Thank you for that. Executive Vice Chancellor?
I actually do have a few words, if you indulge me. First of all, Linda, I will miss you. I will miss your honesty, and I will miss your hard work. You have worked so hard at Valley, and I will truly miss you. I take credit along with the Chancellor for finding her, so thank you. Thank you. I will miss you. Second thing that I wanted to, I know Larry had to leave, but today I would like to recognize him. He is a remarkable colleague and a friend. Larry started the job with me about 11 years ago. We started that journey together, and he has been my dedicated partner throughout our time here. Larry has always been supportive of my crazy ideas, and if you know me, you know I have a bunch of crazy ideas. offering encouragement and collaboration every step of the way. I knew I could rely on him at any time, no matter what the challenge was. His reliability and dedication have made him an invaluable team member. But beyond his professional excellence, his kindness, integrity, and genuine care for others have touched everyone who has had the privilege of working with him. Larry, your presence will be deeply missed. Thank you for being an amazing colleague and even more incredible friend. Next, I have the honor of paying tribute to two extraordinary leaders and mentors for me as they retire from our board, Dr. Ann Versel and Trustee Gloria Macias Harrison. Dr. Ann Versel, when I stepped into the role of interim chancellor, you became the board chair, and our journey together began. We had a planned 6-month period guided by our motto, no drama llama, aiming for a smooth sailing. 6 months, right? That's what we said it was going to be. But then COVID hit. And those 6 months turned into 18 upside down. Into times we faced uncertainty and change daily, every day, learning and adapting in real time. Through it all, you're a constant source of strength, understanding, and support for me. I couldn't have asked for a better partner during that time. Your willingness to help and your empathetic leadership made all the difference. Your legacy of leadership, compassion, and resilience will continue to inspire us. Trustee Gloria Macias Harrison. Gloria, as I call you. You have been more than a mentor to me. You have been a beacon of wisdom, strength, and unwavering support. As one of the original members of the Board Finance Committee, your vision and dedication have profoundly shaped our institution. During my time at SBCCD, we shared countless phone calls filled with your insightful guidance and heartfelt encouragement. A testament of your commitment to excellence and your deep care for our community. Gloria, you taught me to approach financial analysis with a keen eye and a compassionate heart. Your insistence on excellence pushed me to become a better finance professional and a better person. Your presence, wisdom, and unwavering support will be dearly missed. Your legacy, which is huge, will continue to inspire and guide us. Thank you both, and God bless you.
Vice Chancellor, Human Resources and Police Services. I'm glad I didn't have to follow that.
I cannot follow that. You all will be missed, but no report.
And Dr. Ornelas is not here, so no report, I'm going to assume there. All right, so then are there any questions or discussion on presented in the agenda? Okay. With that, we are going to convene into closed session. Yes, sir.
Go into closed session. I just wanted to add, because this is the last opportunity to do it, that I want to particularly express my appreciation to our retiring interim Valley president for the fact that she did not treat it as an interim position, and that I don't think that at any time, even though she knew she was interim, she looked at it as an interim position. She treated it as she was building this position on into the future, and very successfully. And I want to just express my appreciation for unusually dedicated interim service.
Thank you. Absolutely. Well said. Thank you. And Trustee Williams?
Yeah, I agree. We bonded over grass because the grass at Valley was...
Be careful what you say.
I know. I mean, but that was our
The
first.
lawn, you mean the lawn.
I think she probably thought I was crazy because when she first came in, I was like, the grass at Valley needs to be cut. And like, that was like, she made sure, you know, the chancellor, and I don't know how it got done, but
It got done.
it looked, you know, you took care of it, you know, and then that continued. It got cut and they maintained it and it still looks good. And so that was the first thing that sold me because we had been talking about grass for a long time and it got done. And I just really had appreciated that someone listened and did the thing. And so I really appreciated that. And, you know, I will stay in touch and just appreciate your service. Thank you.
And I'll just echo everything that's been said. Thank you, thank you. It's been amazing.
Absolutely. It's been an honor to work with you.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I want you to know that my 2 pots of succulents are the stars of my succulent garden. And are the stars. But I really appreciate.
Yes.
And I never felt like an interim. You know, you never felt like an interim to us at all. So good luck to you and your family.
I remember when I first spoke with you, you had some people came over to try to put pressure on you on some of the things that we wanted you to do. And like Joseph said, you really handled it very well. It had to be done. The campus didn't look that well. And people from the community, see, this is what some people don't understand. We live in the community. We're part of the community. So they'll come and talk to us because they don't have a chance to go talk to you. So you undertook that. And I know that some of your employees were not very happy because you were forcing them to do something that they should have done to begin with. We're lucky to have a job in a good institution. So you took on some hard issues and you did it in a very tactful way and very successful way. Thank you for your being an interim president.
Thank you for that. Okay, we're going to adjourn into closed session. We have on that agenda conference with labor negotiations. We have public employee discipline, dismissal, release, non-reemployment, 2 cases. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, 1 case. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, 1 case. And public employee performance evaluation for the chancellor. So any public. So with that, we will convene into closed session. It is 6:52. So we'll like at 7. We'll take like a 5 minutes. Yeah, restroom break and right at it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I need a bag.
We're just calling them.
Okay, we're going to reconvene our public meeting at 7:54, and we have one readout.
On June the 13th, 2024, in closed session, the board took action to certify the dismissal hearing of a tenured faculty employee identified as employee number 23747 for submission to the Office of Administrative Hearings pursuant to Education 7678 and authorize the Chancellor or designee to carry out the appropriate steps thereto. The roll call vote was as follows: 6 yeses, 0 nays, 0 extensions, and then 1 absent.
Okay. With that, without objection, we will adjourn this meeting at 7:54, and our next meeting is on June the 24th for our retreat at the East Valley Water District.